By the time I'm recording this, the Angels have just acquired both Drew Pomeranz and Jordan Romano. I'm going to take a deeper look into Romano because supposedly he does have pretty good stuff. So, Romano, he got hit hard last year. He got hurt near the end of the season, but he was put in some pretty tough roles he couldn't really execute. Like, yeah, he put up a negative one more. He pitched in nearly 50 games, had an 8 ERA in 40 innings. The problem, I think the problem with Romano is that he doesn't throw his four seam enough. It's a really good four seam. Like, he gets a lot of carry, in which he should. Like, it's a really high vert four seam, a really good extension, and that 95 could probably turn into, say, a 98, 99, because he gets so far like off the mound. And it's a good fastball. It's not a bad fastball. I think it's pretty good. And plus, the good hard gyro slider gets some two plane. I mean, it's a very small two plane, but still, it's still decent. And then we have Drew Pomeranz. So Drew Pomeranz actually had a good year with the Cubs. Well, wasn't well, he hadn't pitched since 2021 with the Padres, kept having arm injuries and stuff like that. But he actually put up some really decent numbers. Like a guy who has a really high high vert four seam, a little bit on the cutty side actually. I mean, it's a low arm slot, but he gets a lot of carry and a lot of cut. So it's a cut carry fastball on top of a big hard knuckle curve, which is kind of like a death ball, if you would. I mean it. I mean they're really good two pitches. I mean under the hood, he isn't great, but traditionally Pomeranz is really good. I mean this is what he's been like in the past, like with the Padres. I mean sure, like he did throw harder in the past, like he didn't really get hit hard, but that's when he started using like a lot of that four seam. But the four seam movement was kind of inconsistent a little bit. So I think that might have contributed in why he kept getting hurt so much. But there was some discussion about the Angels getting a guy in Munetaka Murakami. And also, they did sneakily get Donovan Walton. They got Elijah Dunham very sneakily. So it is kind of interesting a little bit. You got Jose Gonzalez. So Donnie Walton, nice little infield depth. They got Elijah Dunham, who was a big prospect for the Yankees. He hasn't made his debut yet, but he should be a nice little power bat from the left side. He is 27 years old, but he didn't play at all last year because he was hurt. Actually, I lied. He was in. Yeah, actually, yeah, he did get hurt. Well, no, he didn't get hurt. Sorry, he was caught, played in the Mexican League, and then got signed. How about that? The last time he played, he put up a 777 OPS. Nice. I mean, it's a decent on base percentage for a big power guy, but it's a ton of strikeouts. His defense is kind of limited to first base and corners. Just apparently doesn't really play good center field. So that kind of limits his value a little bit. So that's Elijah Dunham. And then you have Donnie Walton. So Donnie Walton, I think this was like a former Mariners guy right here. Drafted by the Mariners. So I believe he played with the Phillies last year. Okay, so he played with the Mets and he played with the Phillies. He apparently did really good with the Phillies, and then once he got to the major leagues, he sucked because he was a bench piece or something like that. He wasn't really that much offensive value from Donnie Walton, but I think the main area where he does provide is the defensive side. So Donnie Walton or Donovan Walton, sorry. Um, I mean they just like his versatility. I'm assuming. I mean, well, maybe not with the glove, but they just like this guy's potential. I would say he's not really a fast runner, which is kind of weird. They probably just really like that the fact that there's not really a limited or there's a limited second base market, and they're taking that as a sign to where like this guy could be like a utility guy or this guy could be like a 4A guy. So I mean, I kind of like that Donnie Walton, little depth piece per se. Nothing happening over at the DSL, uh, but there was actually some interesting. I saw something interesting in the international market. They actually took off. Hold on. They took off a Rami Terrero, the number 37 guy in this whole thing. They replaced him with Sver Reynoso, which is kind of interesting. We don't know yet what happened to him, but I don't know. It's TBD. And, I mean, if we'll ever see Terrera again, I mean, it'd probably be with a different team, unfortunately, but who knows? I will say it is kind of interesting. I mean, we still have a top 10 guy plus a guy in Kendry Fauna who looks like has decent potential, but he is 16 overall. They're basically a lottery ticket. And then you have Jason Horton. I like the fact that he's undersized, 5'9", 160 pounds. Bit shortstop, looks like really athletic frame. You have the hit tool, you have the athleticism, and you have your defense. These are signs of your floor. So it looks like he has a pretty high floor. I could see, and then your ceiling is decent. I mean the power could always come through. This is kind of like a non-factor. Your ceiling is whether or not if you have a good bat, if you have good bat to ball skills, or if you have good arm, which meaning like you could probably play the outfield. You have a good arm for center field and stuff like that. They really like that out of guys with high ceilings, and power could really come into play. Like if you have like a power over a hit tool. So I like that of Jason Horton. He could blossom into a nice little everyday shortstop. I mean, MLB.com says that could be a top of the order threat. So that's kind of saying like he's going to be like Nelson Rada, but Nelson Rada is a little bit more power, and apparently a below average power tool kind of is weird a little bit. I mean, for someone who's 16, like take like the Dodgers for example. So the Dodgers took Gavin Lux and took Will Smith, who had average to below average power, and they turned them into actual like gap to gap home run double type of guys. The thing is, they could easily do this with Horton as well. I mean, not to say the Angels can't develop him, but like he is very projectable as a shortstop. Like he could play multiple positions. They could probably like as he grows into his body, that power from 45 could maybe become like a 50, like a 55, maybe if he puts on a little bit of muscle. But I'm kind of intrigued on this guy. I mean, I'm not. I mean, this guy won't like make me lose sleep, but like it's a guy to think about overnight. Like what he could maybe become for this Angels team because I do think they'll probably try to stick with him, considering that they're going to give him a lot of money, which is definitely a little interesting. So I'm gonna get back to the draft. So the draft, sorry, let's refresh it because there's some trades that happened. The Baltimore Orioles trade for uh, Shane Baz, and not gonna lie, like I'm not a fan of that trade for both sides, or sorry for Baltimore. I like the trade on the Rays side. I mean, they easily fleeced Baltimore, um, and they got another pick out of it. I mean, Tampa Bay traded Baltimore Brian Baker, or sorry, the other way around. The Orioles traded Brian Baker to the Rays for a first round pick, but it, I think that might be like like a payback. Like he wasn't good for the Rays, so like they'll probably send them back, type of thing. But they got Slater DeBrun. But yeah, they got Slater DeBrun, and they got Caden Bonine. And honestly, they did. I'm surprised they ranked them kind of low for number 8 because I think Slater DeBrun. I think this guy could be like he could be like the next big thing for like any team. I don't know if he's going to stay there because now they have a ton of left-handed outfield bats. Like they have him, they have Theo Gillen, they have Chandler Simpson, they have Jacob Melton, they have Josh Lowe. Uh, they could even have Trey Morgan. They have Brendan Summerhill as well, who can play center field. You have Bradley Guerrero. He's probably not a center fielder, but again, a corner outfield guy. You have DeMoss. They have Austin O'Verne, who this guy could definitely be the center fielder of the future if you really, really could. I mean, this guy is stupid defensively. Not, not seeing that like because of his rating. I mean, I watched some of his film. He's diabolical in center field. Diabolical. You have Colton Bedletter, probably a corner, and you have okay, this is not a righty actually, but Homer Bush. And then for the Rays, they actually got another catcher, uh, so they could back up a guy in Dominic Egan, who is not nearly ready yet. I mean, Caden Bonine does kind of relieve you a little bit, because like if you have to stick with Keegan for like 2 or 3 years, like this guy could probably be ready by the time. But this guy's a switch hitter. He's, I think his power is going to come around, but is a hit over power type of guy. And then this guy is a decent defender, so Caden Bonine could become a really good piece, I'd say, down the stretch. So, and then they got Michael Ferret, SCF legend, by the way. I went to SCF. Very good in 2 minor league levels for the Rays and the Orioles. Brody Hopkins, another piece as well. Could probably be ready by next year as well. 25 games as well. And then you'll have Daniel Pierce, who's 19. Carson Williams, who's probably going to eventually be coming off the prospect books. So, and then you have the other trade in which the Tampa Bay Rays got Brandon Lau. The Astros also gave them it was like Anderson Here's some. He's not a top 30 guy, but I forgot to go over him. Um, Sorry, this is live, so like I'm just gonna go to the news, I guess. Shout out to Fairchild. Rangers signed Chris Martin. The Max officially signed Merrill Kelly. Twins officially signed Josh Bell. Michael King officially signed by the Padres. The Giants officially signed Adrian Hauser. This chat I was talking about. Brandon Lau, Jake Mangum, and Mason Montgomery went to the Pirates. They sent Mike Burrows to the Houston Astros. I'm not sure if he still has prospect status, but he doesn't. But Mike Burrows, I think there was a thing on him where I remember them saying like he has some of the worst mechanics in the game. Not trying to try to make it sound like he's all bad, because I think he's pretty good. Um, I mean, his pitch mix is decent. I mean, he just didn't get any run support. He did get kind of barreled a lot when he started missing. That kind of, it's kind of his catcher's fault, but because he had Henry Davis and I forgot was Rafael Flores on the plate. Not saying that they're. I mean, Henry Davis is a bad framer, but like you have Rafael Flores as well. I mean, your balls eventually stay balls, and your strikes will eventually come balls too. So, kind of need help in that front. So he started giving up a little bit more barrel. So, that will turn into that. So, shout out Xavier Nines. So the system hasn't changed except for Rowdy Rodriguez. Very, 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 very powerful guy. High schooler out of Dominican, actually. He moved to Georgia. 22 years old, have his age 23 season. I think I think if he does good, I think they'll try to move him through like 3 levels fast. I think him being in the ACL or ACL in 2024 kind of slowed down his development, because yeah, he is a high schooler, but like that's his age 20 season, or 21 actually. And he got hurt, I'm pretty sure. So that's not really good. Um, and then he tears it up in Inland Empire, 125 games. They should have maybe moved up the sticks a little bit, because he's 22 years old, man. He only gets two more years before he hits Rule 5, and by then he won't be on the team anymore. So I mean, it's a very, very good walk rate, striker rate. I mean, could be a little bit better. I mean, for the type of guy that he is, but I'm not really concerned about that. I mean, it just depends whether if he could sustain this at the next level. I mean, he did put on a few more pounds. I mean, that probably contributed. I mean, he is a high schooler, so you know. Let's see what else. Uh, there are a few guys that I would like to see come up this year. I mean, of course, you have your Nelson Rada. I want to see Clausen in the pen. I mean, if he has to make a rotation, a start in the major league level, because I think he will stay up there. Let's go to the chart real quick. They slotted him. Okay, they slotted him at the 2 in Salt Lake, which I don't have a problem with that. But I do think if he refines his command, because that's really the main issue, they'll probably stuff him in the bullpen. Like if any of these 4 guys go down, or really if anybody goes down, I think Colossus could be very good back end type of guy. So along with all the other guys they have. And then you have your Rada. They desperately need to find a left fielder. I mean, this could come in the draft, probably. I'm gonna check back because I haven't really looked at this yet. It appears like they did not change it. Change the pool. But the White Sox should look to have roughly around like 17 million, I'd say, because they do have a comp pick, right? Like in round two. They do not. I don't think. Yeah, they don't. And then the Rockies lost their pick. Let's see. So if the Los Angeles Angels, they have the 12th pick. I'm getting a little bit of like mixed opinions. I mean, they could take a ton of guys, right? You have to account for multiple things, right? You got to account for the lockout. You got to account for your youth status. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna because most likely they're not gonna play in 2027. So like if you want to go play college, like if you draft a high schooler, probably like in the mid rounds, they'll probably go back to high school. Like if you underslot them, or if they don't, if they're not gonna get the like enough money, they're probably gonna go back. I mean, you can take a risk with that. Like they don't, if they don't sign with you, you get two first rounders, and if they suck, they could probably be like right next to each other. But obviously, that doesn't really sit well with an organization like the Angels. So, I mean, with the farm system they have, whether or not they push Tyler Bremner, let's look at the system real quick. I mean, yeah, like Ryan Johnson. I mean, Ryan Johnson is just not going to be a piece. He's probably going to be in Double A. I mean, for how much they're bringing in, um, like from free agency. I mean, whether or not they do sell, I don't think they're going to go all in per se because you still have to plan for the future. And yeah, of course, Mike Trout, my king, has to get his ring, but like you gotta be team first. You know what I'm saying? And if they sell, you could get a lot of pieces back, even if you miss like your first round or something like that. But I do think the farm got relatively younger, and I think they'll get even younger because Dyson Horton, he's gonna be 17. Definitely already turned 18 already, so that's good on him. You have a lot of high school prospects. Also, Lugo is still 18 as well. He's about to turn 19. You have Walter Soto. You have TGA. You have Talon Haley, Dylan Jordan. Like this is a relatively young staff, and then you still have Sammy Natera Jr. Aldegari eventually is going to be like a non-prospect, which it would suck, but it is what it is. Then you have your Ryan Johnson, you have your Clausen, you have your Hurtado. They're all probably gonna get their shot. Like anybody in this range, they're gonna get their shot. Even Wabber Aranya, probably not Rowdy because he's probably gonna take his time a little bit. They might. One guy I think they might push a little faster than others is Nate Snead. I've been seeing a little bit of his film. It kind of reminds me of White Sox closer Grant Taylor. Taylor was drafted out of he was drafted out of Alabama, I'm pretty sure. No, LSU, and he kind of had like a similar pitch mix to Nate Snead. Like he had the good four seam, he had the good curveball, and then he had like in betweener, he had like a slider or a cutter. That's basically what Snead has. I mean, he's a scrappy changeup. He can throw strikes, but Grant Taylor, big velo guy. I think yeah. See, they expected his ERA to be around a 3, but he had like near 5. That will be down to like a 2.5 maybe if he starts taking the closer role. Because I think this dude is that good. Not saying that I think they should do that for Snead, but I do think he still needs development. The plan for Ryan Johnson for the start of 2025, they should have done that with this guy, Nate Snead, because I think his stuff is pretty good. It's just whether or not he can throw enough strikes to become a filthy reliever. What or maybe even the closer because this team doesn't have a closer right now. They need several pieces. Still need a couple bats. They need a bullpen arm. They need a rotation arm as well. So and they need to get rid of like the scraps like in the middle of this. Like Valverde needs to be let go of. Personally, I mean he's basically a singles guy. It's disappointing me. Hate to see that. I mean you need to move Brent. I think they'll move Bremner fast. I mean, if he gets injured, then that sucks for him. But I don't want him to be like straight at the major league level. I mean, you could be good in spring training. I just don't want him to be like at that point yet. Like, don't be super slow with them at the same time. But back to the draft, there are a lot of guys that I would take. I mean, yeah, this is a loaded draft class. This most of these guys have higher ceilings than I had expected, but it's either they take like maybe like the second arm off the table. I mean, there were a lot of bats compared to last year. Like last year, it was like Iva Arquette and yeah, it was like Iva Arquette and just like yeah, JoJo Parker was like it was just high schoolers, and Hall got slot over slot. I mean, no, Hall got under slot, Parker got under slot, Arquette got a slot value, Hernandez got under slot, Doyle got under slot, Holiday got over slot. Even Kate Anderson got under slot. That's kind of disappointing to see. I mean, Bremmer got way under slot, so that I'm kind of happy about that. But you definitely could have used that million that you could have gave to a guy like Xavier Mitchell or like on like an Alton Davis or somebody like that. Gave someone else like $10,000 or was it like like 1,000 or something like that, and drafted a guy like Kate Anderson. Not saying it's a bad pick. I do. I mean, yeah, Bremner is really good, but I don't know really how I feel about that because I don't know how Xavier Mitchell's gonna be. Because I mean, yeah, there is development, but like you can only develop a guy for so long. He's in high school. I mean, if you're, I mean, they don't people teams don't take the time anymore to have reclamation projects. I mean, reclamation projects have to take like you need these guys within 4 years to try to get to double A or even to triple A or something like that. If not, you're gonna be swapped in row five. So can't have that. So it sucks. Anyway, back to the draft. if they're gonna take an arm, it, they probably want to take the guy like kind of like Bremner, who threw a lot of strikes, had a good fastball, like Cameron Fluky right here. He has eye floor, like like this. His ceiling's pretty high. He has two good breaking balls. Apparently, I haven't watched too much film on him, or not really many actually. But what I'm seeing, it's really him, Liam Pearson. Maybe not quite. I mean, if he has a good year, he throws more strikes. I think they'll take him. I mean, it's 99 with good weapons. Jackson Flora, maybe. I mean, another UCSB guy. He's big supinator, 97, good ride. And then you have your two breaking balls. I saw a clip of his sweeper. It's a very good sweeper. Two plane sweeper, very nasty. And then other than that, there's really no pitchers. There really isn't any pitchers. I mean, if they will underslot, I do think that they'll probably take like a college guy, or maybe like a draft eligible sophomore, which I mean there really isn't a lot of sophomores. I mean this guy would be that guy would be a dream. Derek Curiel, but you're not gonna draft Hakopian because he has terrible defense. AJ Gracia because of terrible defense. Like I want them to draft a guy with a good glove. At the same time, like Ace Reese, no. I want a guy like Eric Becker. See, Eric Becker, I mean, his swing kind of reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know if this is a good comp, but like Charlie Blackman, I'd say. Let's go watch some film on Eric Becker. Well, so his stats were, I mean, they were decent. No, I'm kidding. They were really good. I mean, they didn't really have too good of a summer ball. 7 games. Had a high on base percentage, took walks. I mean, it's fine. It's summer ball. It's 7 games. I don't know if he got injured, but the hit tool is what is standing out at me. Plus the average defense. I mean, this guy looks really projectable, and they're saying if the power does come up, he'd be a fit with any team. I like that mindset, but I like it because if you're gonna underslot this guy, this is the type of value that you want in a guy like Eric Becker. I mean, Nolan Shanaway was one of the best hitters in all of college baseball in 2023, and that is because of his raw hit tool. It, almost the same slot as Becker, except he was like a few slots lower. Yeah, a 60 hit tool, 50 fielding, 50 power as a first baseman as well. So if they want, they'll probably try to go after a guy who's a good defender with a good glove, maybe. A guy kind of reminds me of Stroh Snyder. Not the best bat I've heard, but I mean, Sawyer Stroh what I'm seeing looks like a premium center fielder for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I mean, I think he was a JUCO guy. I mean, either he got redshirted or he was a JUCO guy. But a lot of extra base hits, a lot of doubles, triples. He had 350 average. The walks could come up a little bit. Defensively, he played right field. Apparently, a very good right field. Apparently, I mean, it's a 55 grade, but I mean, yeah, and he stole 10 bases as well, as a guy with that frame, 6'2", 200 pounds. I mean, I think there's a lot to like about Sawyer Snyder outside of the K's. I mean, the walks could come up a little bit, but he needs to learn how to slug a little bit more, I'd say. So I like Stroh because he could even drop a little bit because you have a lot of competition right here, like in college baseball. So and then I don't know about Von Lackey. I don't really know if they want a catcher like Lackey. I'm not really too sure on that. Same thing with AJ Gracia. I don't know if they'll move him to first base because if they do, he could be a really good first baseman, kind of like a Nick Kurtz type of guy. Because he's not really that athletic, but I, I just don't really see him taking him. And then you have your Caden Sorrell as well, who you could also underslot, kind of the same guy as Stroh at A&M. Let's take a look at his stats real quick. So Sorrell, he played 26 games last year. I think he was plagued by an injury. I'm pretty sure. 12 homers. He did not steal a single base or not even attempt a stolen base, but he is a very good runner at the same time. Plus speed when healthy. So I think he's going to assess center field for Texas A&M. I mean, we'll see about the strikeouts and the athleticism. Like this guy could be really good. I think this is another guy who I'd see maybe a center fielder maybe for the future. I don't want him taking KB Cole. And then other than that, I mean, you could underslide and take a high schooler like way down here, give him a little bit more money. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Aaron Ruiz being like a premium defender or shortstop. This is a guy who I see like maybe like the Guardians or like the Brewers taking. Like he could be really good. I'm not saying he reminds me of Lindor, but it kind of reminds me of Lindor. And then you could probably take like Trevor Condon. I mean, you say whatever you want about like the numbers down here. I mean, they're probably false, but this guy's work ethic kind of reminds me a little bit of Eli Willits. Um, very very good bat speed for a guy who has looked at as below average power and give a very good outfield apparently. Very good speed. He could go to college. I'd say, but like I think he could be draft ready at the same time. So is another thing I want to another guy I want them to take. And then Jaron Advincula. I mean, beside the pop, I mean everything just jumps out at you. I mean he's just a small ball type of player. So Georgia Tech. Bogenpool, not really. I mean, you could take Tegan Coons. But he doesn't really have the command to be, say, a first rounder. Probably second rounder, though, I'd say. I actually met this guy, uh, Joseph Contreras. I played against him, I'm pretty sure, in travel ball. Bradenton, Florida, by the way. So, a big lanky frame kind of reminds me of like Savion Sims. This guy right here. Way over the top kind of reminds me of like Felix Bautista and like Tristan McKenzie a little bit. But that dude looks like a freak of nature. Like that, like he could be really good. Savion Sims being 6'8". And then if they take maybe say a pitcher, I do think they'll probably take a guy like Jake Brown. He could be like a comp pick. I mean, they do have the 40th pick in the draft. Pretty sure, yeah, they'll have 46 because the Diamondbacks will probably let go of Zach Allen. So, yeah, Jake Brown could be one of those guys as well. And then I don't know if they'll probably give a shot to Eddie Kanak. I mean, they're saying a lot of stuff about his changeup. Throws a lot of strikes. Saying that he doesn't really have a good fastball or curveball. But his changeup plays really well, so. And I watched some film. This guy, Dylan Blomker, could be a guy that they could project out of La Cueva, New Mexico. Uh, Not trying to take shots at New Mexico, but they took no, the Angels took Johnny Slawinski in the third round. The area where he grew up didn't really have a lot of technology. He didn't really go to many of those places, so it was genuinely based off feel. I mean, he has been going to area code games and stuff like that, but I'm saying like if they take guys who go to like not that great areas and guys who haven't really been exposed to too much. I mean, not this guy. I mean, Blomker's. It looks like he's been going to maybe pitching coaches saying like, like he needs to learn how to spin his slider really well. So I mean, they could take him. I'd say maybe like a second rounder, third rounder per se. And then Malachi Washington, I've seen all over the internet. This guy is an electric factory. This guy could be a potential first rounder if teams really look at him like that. Or he could even be like a comp pick as well to maybe be like Tampa Bay or something like that. Like this guy is electric. They have Andrew Williamson, who could, climb his way up per se. Miles Bailey, I've been hearing this guy's name a lot. I think this guy could be like say like a third rounder, if possible. Miles Bailey, big power guy, kind of reminds me of Nico Cavadas a little bit. Just taking a look. But yeah, they just need to fill holes. But if they do decide to overslot a guy, they want to go with Derek Carrillo. Like this guy is a dream, bro. Like if teams passed up on Jamie Arnold, they need to watch out for guys guys who are passed up in the top six, because most likely, say like the Braves, right? Because the Braves are, yeah, they have the ninth pick. They could maybe take their chance on a guy like Carson Balderman. And then if you're Gio Rojas, this would be a guy that I probably want to say goes to like the Oakland Athletics maybe. You could maybe make it like the other way around, or even the Royals. I mean, they could even take their shot on a guy like Carson Balderman, and then the Braves could probably try to get like a Vaughn Lackey or like a I don't know, like an arm. I think the Braves could take an arm. It's just that I don't really see these four teams wanting to take an arm. I think they'll take all the top four bats available. Because what is Carrillo? Carrillo's the sixth, or maybe yeah, top five teams could probably take a bat a little bit. Royals will probably take an arm, The Orioles will probably take. I'm not trying to be racist, but they probably take a white guy because well, if you know, you know. They'll probably take like a guy like Stroh or like a Cameron Flukie. They could take an arm. So they'll probably take like Carson Balliman. They'll probably take Cameron Flukie. They'll probably take Gio Rojas. The Braves will probably take like. I mean, the Braves don't really have that big of a pool. I mean, they could go after like a Logan Schmidt because they do like their young lefties. They do like high schoolers. They could like I think they'll go after a guy like Ronnie or Rocco Moscaco, another shortstop. I think they could take him. Now that I think about it, um, overslot him. The Rockies, I think though, I think they could take an arm. I'm gonna say they get Liam Peterson. I don't think they'll get like a Derek Curiel, but then you get someone that just falls in their lap. The Nationals would probably take another arm. They'll probably take like a Jackson Flora, but they could too take a Derek Curiel. So it kind of leaves them between Flora and Curiel. That's kind of the way I see it until college baseball comes on. The Cardinals, we'll just round out the well, like the 25. So the St. Louis Cardinals, I think they'll probably take. I think the Cardinals could take a guy like Tyler Bell, or like a Tyler Bell or like a Logan Schmidt maybe, because they do need a. I feel like they will take a high school lefty, so they could, because they do need arms. So, and then the Marlins, they'll probably take a bat. They're probably gonna try to take like Eric Becker, I'd say possibly, or I think the Marlins could take like a Trevor Condon if if they do take a high schooler, or like a Ryder Helfrich because they do need catching a little bit. And then the Diamondbacks will probably take another shortstop. And yes, they will take Tyler Bell because he's projectable. And then the Texas Rangers, I think they'll try to stay up the middle. They'll probably take Eric Booth out of Mississippi, or maybe they got like Will Brick as well. Those two kind of work for me. I'd say they'll stick with Will Brick. The Astros will probably take an arm. I think they'll take maybe a Coleman Borthwick. And then the Reds, I think the Reds are going to underslot here. I think they'll take a guy in Javorsky Lane. This guy kind of gives off like Andrew McCutchen vibes. And then the Guardians will probably take like a lefty. I mean, I think they'll take a guy like I think the Guardians take Ada Ruiz here for the underslot here, or the overslot, or underslot actually. But yeah. So and then the Red Sox will probably take an arm. I think they could get like a Gabe Gakel, I'd say. Let's see. So the Padres, they'll probably take a guy who was like really good makeup, or something like that. I think the Padres could take like a Eric Booth if they could. He kind of reminds me of like Homer Bush 2.0. just like the tool set and everything. And then the Tigers. I think the Tigers are gonna stick with their shortstops like that. I do think they'll take a guy like James Clark. They took um they took Jordan Yost last year, and then the year before that they took 2024 um they took Bryce Rayner, and then the year before that they took Max Clark, and then the year before that they took Jace Young. So they must love their lefties. So I'm gonna say they take James Clark. It's very projectable. The Cubs will probably take another underslot guy as well. And with this one, I think they'll take a Caden Wachter, have Jesuit. Seems really projectable as well. I've seen, fun story. I actually faced this guy before when Liquid Ranch actually played Jesuit. Um, and he blew by me. Let's say that he blew by me. At least I put him on play. This is pre 95. But I'm not saying that just for bias. I'm saying that because I think he's a genuinely good player, even minus the other stuff. I think the Seattle Mariners are going to take Brady Harris, have Trinity Christian, and then the Milwaukee Brewers might take. I think the Brewers are going to take Malachi Washington. I just think they love the stuff from him, and high schooler. They've taken multiple high schoolers in the past. They've took. Um, oh, I gotta go through it again. Damn it. Oh, what's his name? He's a left-handing center fielder. Okay, so they took Brady Ebel. Braylon Payne is his name. Braylon Payne's gonna be a stud. He's currently in our leagues right now. They took Andrew Fisher, and then they took Brady Ebel, and then the year before that they took Brock Wilkin, our college guy. They must seem to really like taking corners, I'd say. And they took Eric Brown. I mean, they can develop pitching, but like at the same time, it's just like they do need help like on the offensive side at the same time. But I do think this is where they take. I think they'll take Tyler Spangler for an overslot. They let him fall all the way down there. Actually, I take that back. They're not gonna take Tigers. Not gonna take James Clark. They're gonna take Tyler Spangler. But it's whatever. The Braves, their second pick. They're going to take Braves. Their second pick. I think the Braves are gonna take Von Lackey. Honestly, I mean teams do need catching a little bit, and a guy like Von Lackey, native of Georgia, kind of need catching up along with Drake Baldwin. He is projectable. I mean, he can get off his feet a little bit, off his legs, but that obviously hurts the value that he has as a catcher. But I do think the Braves will take him. He could play a corner. He could play third. He could probably play. He could even catch for a little bit too, like when Sean Murphy goes. So they have a tandem of Baldwin and Lackey. I mean, it's not bad. And then the Mets. I think the Mets will take Zion Rose, mainly because they want to focus on like the ceiling and stuff like that. And then I'll just take shots. The Phillies will probably take. I think the Phillies are going to take. I think the Phillies are going to take. I think the Phillies are going to take Bo Peterson. They do need a third baseman after all, so Bo Peterson. The New York Yankees, though, I think they're going to take Maddox Maloney, either Maddox Maloney, or they're going to take Hunter Dietz. Or Jensen Hirschhorn as well, but I do think he might go to LSU at the same time. Or a Cole Canninger too. Ethan Matz is also interesting as well. So, and then the Blue Jays will probably take Keon Johnson because, well, actually, I think he's gonna go to college as well. I think the Blue Jays are gonna take a high school arm. They might take Sean Duncan, Canada native, projectable too. And then the Dodgers are probably going to take like a Trey Broussard or something like that. See if anything's happened a little bit. Nice, fine. Easy, okay. So nothing's really happened. Yeah, I'm gonna go to MLB trade rumors because this is where I usually find most of my stuff. So the Tigers got rid of JHM. Fortunately, this guy.
Osborne and Francis got me triple the settlement offer.
I don't want to listen to that, but I don't know. This is a really interesting spot for the Angels. I mean, if they do take one of these guys, like a Curiel, or like a Flora, or like a Peterson, or somebody like that, or even like a AJ Gracia, these guys staring down my throat. Because I don't think they're gonna be afraid to take slot value. And it's interesting because they do need a controllable outfielder who's going to bring an impact. And that's what I'm scared of. They need third baseman as well. And Ace Reese is probably like a second, so it's not really ideal. All right, well, that's all I have. That's just like my thoughts and opinions over the past week. By the time I'm recording, which is like the 20th or something like that, I'll probably have this video out sometime. I mean, I'll let you know. I'll let y'all know any updates by like, by the time we make my next recording, probably like sometime next week. So, yeah, catch you.